Across this great nation, there is a culture of people who carry on a heritage. They have an intangible quality that can't be described, but it comes from deep within their hearts. They share an appreciation for the greatest things that come from Mother Earth. They watch over, understand, and care for the vast wilds of this great country. Fishing, hunting, and trapping are the foundations that Canada was built on. For over 2 centuries, we have taken to the woods and water to pursue wild game. Today, it's about conservation, preservation, and wildlife management. Whether you are a man or woman, fish or hunt, you should support sound wildlife management and proudly say, I am an angler and hunter. The Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, a proud partner of Angler and Hunter Television. Mercury Marine and Lund Boats. Yamaha ATVs. Winchester Ammunition. Browning Firearms. Suffolk Fishing Line. Rapala. Camillus Knives. Excalibur Crossbows. And Yukon Gear.
Wild turkey has fast become one of the most popular game birds, and for good reason. They're extremely plentiful and thrive across most of North America, including Ontario, where they were reintroduced nearly a quarter century ago by efforts of the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters. With eyesight that is as sharp as a hawk's and the ability to run or fly short distances in a split second, it makes them a challenge for hunters of all skill levels. With some practice, one can get the basic calls and vocalizations turkey have by using an assortment of game calls. This will at least get you in the field and hopefully draw a gobbler within range. So this season I'm going to try and take a turkey from a tree stand. And you know, over the past few years I've seen a lot of birds when I'm deer hunting and bear hunting. A lot of birds come right under my tree stand. They don't pay much attention to me, I guess maybe because I'm elevated. So this year I'm going to try it. And if you're going to try this, you need to scout before the season opens. And obviously the farm I'm on here, I've scouted pretty heavily. And in fact, I've narrowed it down to this little poplar stand at the top of this ridge we're on is frequented almost every evening by a large group of birds. So the first setup I'm going to do, I'm going to put 2 setups out here. The first setup is in a tree stand within a 50 to 100 yards of this roosting site. And the trick obviously is you want to find a tree big enough to conceal you and that you can put a tree stand in facing away from this roosting area. So when you get in the morning and you're getting set up, you're not visible to the birds, and then when the sun comes up and they drop down into the field, they won't know you're nearby, and with any luck, with some creative calling and maybe even some decoy placement, you can draw those birds over to where you're hunting. So when you're scouting, if you don't have an opportunity to get out in the evening and actually watch where the birds roost, a good idea is to go to where you see birds first thing in the morning and check the ridge tops for big trees and feathers, because they do preen a lot when they're in the roost. So you'll see a lot of turkey droppings and obviously feathers. So this is the tree I picked, and I've put one of my favorite stands here that I use on this farm. Call it Old Faithful. It's done pretty well for me over the past 15 or 20 years. But it's a nice stand. Obviously it's custom made. I'm about 80 yards from that roosting site, and as you can see, I've got the stand facing away, so the tree will be separating me from the birds in the morning, and the sun is going to rise over here in the east and travel here to the south. So I've cleared most of my shooting lanes, but any that you think might get in the way, don't be afraid to chop them out. It's okay to have a few branches around to break up your silhouette, but chop them out, make sure there's none that are hooking back up or that might sway or grow some leaves, because turkey season can be pretty long, and what you don't see now is where all the leaves are, and they'll weigh the branches down and you'll find you might not have any shooting lanes once the leaves are on the trees. So don't be afraid to chop it out of there. So the second setup I like to use with a tree stand is obviously in fields near roosting sites, but where there's travel corridors between roosting and sort of where they strut and dust bowls. Turkeys like to dust, so in the bottom of this field there's a bit of sand. So setting up a stand on travel routes to and from these sites is a real good strategy. And this one here, actually the roost site's a couple hundred yards over this ridge, but they do travel down both sides of this field. And late in the day and during the high sun, I've seen them down in here dusting. So this is where I've set up this tree stand. And you can see right here that these are active. There's a track right here from probably before the last rain, but these dust bowls are fairly well used. So travel corridors and roosting sites. I set up one of these on each of the properties I hunt so that I have some options, and usually it works out pretty good. So now that we've scouted the farm, we've got our stands where we want them, it's time to scout the weather. I'm going to use my Scout Look app to check tomorrow's forecast, and then I'll use that to pick the stand I'm going to actually sit in based on wind and all sorts of conditions like that. Now with Scout Look, you just tap on the weather icon, hit the forecast button, and then you go to the day. Looks like a good hunting day. There's solar lunar tables and major activity of game animals is on here, so 11:32 and 1:32 are major, and minor is 5:03 a.m. and 6:03 a.m. So it looks like a good day of hunting. And then I'll hit the hourly forecast, and what I'll do is I'll look at, we're going to probably be in about 4 a.m. So from 4 to 9, it looks like it's going to be, we're going to get a good sunrise, and then some clouds might move in, but all in all, it looks like a pretty good morning.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Yamaha ATVs.
I'm surrounded by turkeys. Over the years, I've had some good and some not so good experiences with wild turkey. Oh my God. I've missed. But for the most part, I've done pretty well. This season, however, I'm gonna push my limits and try to hunt a gobbler with my Excalibur from a tree stand. My first setup is very close to an area where I know a large group of birds have roosted, and with luck and some patience, I think I'll have a good chance of getting a tom in range. Calling from a tree stand can be effective, as your sound will carry greater distances. However, I suggest keeping it to a minimum, as birds can show up out of nowhere, and if you're not cautious, you'll get busted. I got it. 2 birds coming. They're looking at the decoys. The sun just hit them. I think there's 3 sort of dominant toms with the hens down there. But I got 2 maybe jakes coming. One of them might be a strutter though. Never seen anything like that before. It's almost like he's pretending to mate. This guy's just learning how to strut. Doesn't have a beard though, they're young birds. Jakey poo. That's right. There's the 3 toms.
is way out there. There's some big boys in that group. But these guys are gonna break away and come into my decoys, looks like. Might get lucky. Come on. That's right. I want the second bird if I can get him. He's a little bigger, I think. Separate. Got him. Yes. What a shot with the Excalibur. This guy doesn't know what hit him. There's my first tree stand turkey. Whoa. These guys don't even know what happened. I tell you what, that was awesome. I wasn't ready for that, but it worked like a charm. Wow.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
The idea of hunting turkey from a tree might seem odd, but in reality, it makes sense. Over the past few years, I've had many encounters with turkeys while sitting in a tree stand hunting white-tailed deer and even black bear. So my second setup is in a stand I often use for deer. I did capture some trail cam shots of turkeys traveling to and from a roosting site early and late in the day. If these birds stick to their schedule, I should be able to make this happen. Right on schedule. These jakes aren't exactly what I'm after, but worth a shot if I get a chance.
Come on, back here, another 50 feet. I shot under him. Man. Well, that just goes to show you, you can shoot at turkeys from a tree stand. You just might not hit one.
That was so close. Having those two birds come in and not detect me has at least shown me that this should work. Now all I need is a big old Tom to show himself.
I see him. He's on the field edge right over there. There he is. He's way in there. That's one nervous chicken.
This guy is hung up.
Come out of there. I am not coming in there. You gotta come out here.
This is about as stubborn as I've ever seen one act.
Look at this guy. There he is. He is stubborn. Way up there.
He's just working back and forth inside those trees over there.
I can't believe it. I really must have misjudged that. I'm gonna pace it out, but I think it's probably closer to 40 yards than 30. Yep. Nothing but mud.
Well, 15 or 20 feet in a tree. Lo and behold, two jakes come out of nowhere, sneak up on me from my right, and I almost nailed one of them. And they had no idea I was in that tree. They didn't really get nervous till I kind of had to draw the Excalibur up. So there you go. I had a gobbler 50, 60 yards away. He just wouldn't make that extra step. Left the area. Take this home, clean it up a bit, and try again tomorrow.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Winchester Ammunition.
To get the edge over this turkey, I used the Scout Look app to locate likely travel corridors and chose the best days according to the local weather forecasts. Yukon Gear Mossy Oak Camo had me concealed in the tree, and the Excalibur Micro 355 with a 125 grain expandable broadhead was easy to manage and made an accurate shot. And finally, my Camillus knife made field dressing this gobbler a snap. The weather for this hunt was 14 degrees and overcast with a steady southwest wind at 20 kilometers per hour, and a falling barometer had rain approaching in the evening. Okay, so we had that big gobbler going back and forth this morning, but he wouldn't commit.
There he is.
I'm sure he'll stick around though.
He's stubborn.
So I decided to come back later in the day and mix up my decoy spread. I figured that he'd be all alone and maybe a little more responsive to my calls.
I've never hunted this late in the day, so we'll give it a try.
There he is. Almost as soon as I called, he showed himself. And now he's heading right for me.
I've been here for all of 5 minutes. Just got set up, just got the decoys out, and there's a strutter coming. This is unbelievable. He's way across that field, but he just walked out of some long grass. Here he comes, he's all alone. Come on, big boy. This will be the latest in the day I've ever had turkey action. That's the same bird from this morning, I think. He's almost in range. Got him. Yes, I did it. Tom down out of a tree. Yes. I can't tell you
how incredible this is. And I didn't want to take a chance because normally I would have let him get out there and interact with those decoys a little bit, but gobbler down, and I did it from a tree stand. It's yeah, I'm so satisfied with that. Man, that was awesome. You're gonna see me here in the fall because I'm gonna try and shoot a deer out of this stand. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful bird. Look at this. Is that ever nice? Tag him. Wow, I can't get over it. You know? Good camo. An accurate crossbow. And some patience. And you can spend a day or two turkey hunting and just have some incredible experiences. What can I say? I can't say enough about it. Tom down out of a tree. Yes, that is a big tom. Look at the beard. Good set of spurs on it. Whoa! Excalibur micro and a tree stand. Well-placed bolt. And I'm gonna have a hard time hunting turkeys off the ground anymore, I tell you that. Incredible. Wow. What a season.
Closed captioning of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you in part by Ontario Out of Doors Magazine. Angler and Hunter Television has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Winchester Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, Camillus Knives, Excalibur Crossbows, and Yukon Gear. For more information on the products used in this episode of Angler and Hunter Television, visit ahtv.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Remember, conserve and protect our great outdoors.